Hey there guys, this is Robin Hood, and today I am bringing you another 2 versus 2 battle played recently in Napoleon Total War. This is going to be on the Austerlitz map. My ally, as always, Mikenuge. Our opponents are Napoleon himself, and Hajo Shimenitz. That guy, that name, that thing. But basically, Mike and I here are spawning on or deploying, saying spawning from playing Battlefield, on the downside of this hill, the attacker's side. So you can see this is the hill here, and most people don't play this map simply because the camping that occurs on this hill. Generally, hill camping isn't all that much of a problem, but you cannot say that this is not a slightly more massive hill than normal, and it's just wide open, no cover going up it. So generally when Mike and I play this map, we'll make sure we spawn on that hill, as you guys may have seen in previous videos, and then we come down and attack, because it can be fun to fight in this area down here. This battle, for some reason, neither of us were thinking, and we did host, and we forgot to switch to the side with the hill. But it made it interesting, because as always, we're going to go ahead and attack anyways. And the way we're going to do it is through use of this lefter, lefter's not a word, I was going to say leftermost side of the map. And along here you can see there's plenty of trees, good cover, and while you are still eventually attacking uphill, moving in this way, it is less of a total rise up the hill than had I just marched straight on it like that. Now the rules, and the reason I'm bringing these up, were max 5 light infantry, which you can see I have here, max 1 artillery, and no fixed or unicorns. And my army here, I have 2 Jaegers, 3 Prussian Fusilier, 4 foot guards, and 5 musketeers. Then I have 2 Lancers and a Brandenburg Ulan, and my general. And Mike here's playing as Russia. He also has 5 Jaegers, although they are the Russian Jaegers, and then this 17th Jaeger Regiment. And looks like 2 musketeers there, a Moscow musketeer, another musketeer, more musketeers, so 3 more there, and then lifeguard of foot. And is that his only? No, he's got 2 of those guys, and then 2, and well, an Ulan unit and 2 mounted rifles, and his general, who's a historical general here, Count name I cannot pronounce, and I'm assuming that's him there. So yeah, that's Mike's army. Now the rules for this battle, as you guys know, were no unicorns, since I stated them. Unicorns are the Russian howitzers, and they have super long range, and this guy Napoleon up here, he broke that rule. And generally you know, it's not that much of a problem when people break rules. A lot of times it's done by accident, and you know, that's no big deal, and Mike and I deal with it all the time. But I don't normally, you know, bash on someone on YouTube, but this guy in the chat was not the kindest of players, and he was very proud that he broke the rules. So that's the only reason I bring that up. He found it absolutely hilarious that he had super ranged artillery that we couldn't counter, because even though Mike could have, it wasn't in the rules. And obviously it's no big deal for me, aside from the fact that I'm taking shells, but I didn't even bring artillery. So that I was planning on just rushing down the hill. I didn't think I would need artillery, and in all honesty, artillery wouldn't really help me up the hill either, because it is not accurate going uphill. At least a hill like this, most of the shells would have landed around here and did nothing. So basically, out here you can see Mike and I were laughing about this. He sent all of his rifles way forward, didn't realize he had them run and not the rest of his army. And had Austria taken this chance and cavalry charged them right now, they would have been screwed, and that most likely would have really ended the battle for us, because these lights are going to be crucial. But as you can see, I'm moving up over here. Obviously, not both of our armies can fit on this small ridgeline, so I am going to have to take a more straightforward approach just right up this hillside. And once again, based on this guy's setup, we were fairly confident that he wasn't going to come down on my flank, as he should. He should just come down and clean us up. And if he did, it's better for me too, because I can just turn sideways. Mike will be over there, and then we're not dealing with the big hill. So either way, that was good for us if that happened. And there you can see that guy survived the effects of the artillery. But at this point, I am going to fast forward this battle. And pretty soon, there's their artillery opening up, hitting my cavalry a little bit. And then later on, it's going to start targeting my main line over here, because Mike's army's too far to the left for it to fire at. So I'm going to end up getting shelled by both artillery pieces. You can still see the cannons going off over there. I'll go ahead and hit play here again. You can see I've got the 4 foot guards moving up more left. I was getting ready to back up Mike as he pushes in, because since he did deploy on this side of the map, he had less distance to cover, so he definitely was going to be the one to open up this engagement. And here you can see right now it is a skirmish, although he's actually fighting some line units. There is a Windbush Jaeger unit here, though. It's pretty much just his skirmishers fighting at the moment. My cavalry's over here moving around. Otherwise, I mean, there's not really many other places my cavalry can really successfully charge at the moment. So we were just trying to swing everything around, see what we could get. And if our cavalry's back here, either A, they don't even guard it, and at that point we can do some rear charges, or they turn units to face it, and that just alleviates some of the pressure on the front of the hill. And here you can see I am moving up my lines, getting ready to move into skirmishing here, and my guys are going to return fire on these Fusiliers up there. So this is my first fire of the game. Scoring a few hits. I've already taken a few losses, though. Actually, quite a few on. You can just see this path of artillery, just kind of marking the progress of my march. This poor unit here, this whole game, pretty much only gets shelled by artillery. I don't actually use them in combat because of it, although we managed to dodge that round. And at this point, I'm falling back some. I'm keeping up the pressure right here, but the reason for this quick little fallback, and you can see I'm shuffling troops. I'm going to have some foot guards move up here. I'm going to have some of the infantry shuffle around, foot guards take their place in the line so that I can extend this flank, because Russia did make a slight push down this hill, and I did not want to get caught with my flank exposed like that. So I am turned ready to face this, and Russia is also going to start sending some of these units back around down here onto Mike's front. You can see now Mike is lining up his line infantry, and this is going to turn into a prolonged line battle here. Basically, Mike has more troops throwing in and wrapping around the flank, but Austria has the better position. These hills, even this slight little ridge here, just the angles of everything make it an absolute pain to get them off of it, especially from my side. It is surprising how much this game limits your accuracy, or your troops' accuracy, when it is a hill like this. And I guess, in all honesty, uphill advantage, it makes sense. There you can see that artillery still coming in. There's really nothing I can do about this right now. What I did tell Mike to do, though, you can see I'm reinforcing him here with these foot guards. And in a second, he's going to pull out one of his cavalry units just because they're closer. And mine are really tired from having run a farther distance. And here these guys go now. They're going to run way back here and then around. And at this point, since Russia's moved off the hill, they are in fact going to go for those unicorn units. We just felt a need to do some damage to those units. One, because they were shelling me, and although they're not being incredibly effective, it is annoying, and it is doing some damage. And since that guy was bragging about how his unicorns were there and we didn't have them, you just feel the slightest of need to take away that unit from that player. Here you can see more of the fighting. I mean, maneuvering-wise, there's not a lot going on right now. We're not really seriously pressing heavily. I mean, this is like a large engagement, but we have to be careful because if we do get ourselves caught in a bad position on the downside of this hill and lose our armies, I mean, that's it for the game. So right now it is just a lot of skirmishing, trying to pick these guys off. Here you can see what my men are firing up at and taking fire from as well. Let's see, there's like that over here. Our cavalry's charging some. My Brandenburg Uhlans there taking a volley, but they are in fact going to get into these lines and start messing up some of the Russian Jaegers here. So you can see Russia has brought down some units. These are Grenadier unit, some elite lifeguard unit, I guess. I don't have the DLC for this game, and a lifeguard afoot. So this is just more stuff Mike has to cope with down here. But it all balances out because I am fighting half of Austria and Prussia over here. And you can see I've moved my line out a little bit this way. Russia's shuffling back, and here goes Mike's Uhlans, and they're going to try to get up this huge hill and get those unicorns before these Russian troops get back up there. Here's this whole battle. You can see this is just a interesting little cavalry fight down here. The one thing it did do is make Russia get disorganized, and he had to square so Mike can move up these troops and begin firing. And since these are better units down here than his troops, he's just got the musketeers against these lifeguards and grenadiers. So having them in square and not be able to return fire as well for a second is going to help them. And here my cavalry, it says they're running. They're going extremely slowly because they're tired and just this hillside. But they're going to go ahead and charge this unit. And after I clicked this attack order, I didn't ever check to see if these guys squared or not. I kind of went off and did my own thing over there. You can see I'm building kind of an arc up there on the minimap. So, wow, this was a really lame charge. It said they were running, but I guess not. So that is why that did not do much. Thank you. Thank you for actually running. It said they were running, so I don't know what's up with that. Here I moved up these guys a little bit to take a few shots. You can see Mike's cavalry did get here, took out 2 of the guns, but the Russian cavalry and canister shot did its work there. You can see the canister shot right there. So at this point, Russia's gonna make a mistake, and he's lined up facing this way, which at the moment is fine. But he's going to have this half of his army line up just like this here, and it's going to stay like that. Then I'm certain he was sitting over here managing this fight, because these are his units here. So he's over here probably with his screen just like this, looking this direction. And whenever I have my army split like this, I play with my mini-map enlarged so I can keep tabs on things, and then if I need to get over there quickly, you know, I'll be doing a lot of that stuff, getting back and forth. But he's not going to be doing that, and so I'm going to turn this Jaeger unit to start firing on the flank there, and then when I realize that he's obviously not watching this part of the battle, these units are going to go into action. Also here I've moved up my line now, so we're kind of escalating the attack, and you can see when you zoom in, I mean, this is not a fun position to attack, but I've got these foot guards here, 2 of them there. And I've got musketeers on this flank, and I'm going to start trying to turn this flank as best as I can. So we've got kind of this big arc over here. Over here it's a more open battle. You can see Mike's having to bring in more troops, as that is a musketeer unit routing there. He does have a decent reserve though. 3 lifeguards afoot. And this musketeer unit, and they're shuffling over that way. But at this point, even with all these troops firing, it is still taking a long time for these guys to rout, because you can see there, that was a whole volley, and it killed maybe 2 or 3 guys. It is not that effective uphill. But I'm going to start moving in on them, and here you can see my troops moving over. We'll speed it up for just a second. They're going to line up like so. And I'm going to get kind of this little arc going on, and you can see I'm going to start firing on Russia here, and he's not even going to notice it for the time being. And here I'm lining up more, moving up, just inching my way up this hillside. At this point, Austria is pretty stretched, and he doesn't have that many troops left. This cavalry here being the main thing, and there's a Hungarian Fusilier unit there, but this cav is getting shot up as it approaches. For some reason, cavalry did not want to run. Yeah, it says this unit's running too. It did not want to run in this game. So that both hurt us and helped us. You can see Mike's doing a melee charge. Once again, very good job to Mike this battle, holding down this whole flank. I am helping here, but he definitely has the tougher side of things down here. And right now you can see these guys, I'm just letting them do their thing, shredding this Russian unit here. And I was just kind of laughing that this guy didn't notice, but now he does notice, and immediately when I see that he's turning his Jaegers to start looking at me, I'm going to have these guys fall back. Because I don't want to be taking long range fire, because these guys do have increased range over me. So there, you can see I fall back, and I'm going to hide behind my own Jaegers there. And up here, I did a melee charge with a musketeer unit, and I'm going to take out this artillery piece. So that is one artillery piece no longer being a nuisance. You can see I still have all these units firing. That whole time they've been firing at this unit, dealing minimal damage. And this is a militia unit, so I probably should have just charged this. But you can see just these are foot guard units firing. Generally they would shred a unit like this pretty quickly, but it's this uphill angle causing a lot of problems for my men. Back here, Mike's lifeguards are now in action, and these fresh troops are going to change this side of the battle into his favor once again. And that's that. These units are going to start to rout here. And over here, now I'm starting to do a little bit. Things are going to get interesting. I've got these units down here. This foot guard unit I have lining up here. Can see they're running too. Everything just, that's the problem with these hillsides. It happens very, very, very slowly. So you can't really respond to anything super quickly. But I've got a solid line here. These guys are starting to take major casualties, and they're going to be routing here soon, especially once these foot guards start opening fire. Russia does see that I'm exposing this flank though, and they are going to start moving in over there. And here you can see my men fighting in melee. I could not turn these guys into square because they were already in melee with the artillery piece, but at least right here they are going to do a little bit of damage and just kind of stall all of this cavalry for the moment, especially as we rout this Landwehr unit there. So now, at this point, I'm going to start pushing in on all sides. Mike's pretty much wrapped up down here. You can see this unit's not even facing the right direction. And there comes the 2-mile-per-hour charge, actually managing to knock over one or two guys. But they're going to go ahead and rout. It'll be funny if Mike shoots his own general here. I don't recall it happening. Looks like he has these guys off of fire at will, so definitely noticed that. So now at this point, the battle is going to start moving over my direction. What I have to do here, this is an awkward flank for me. I have to turn and face these guys or fall back. At this point, we've gotten so far that I don't want to fall back and prolong this. So I'm going to turn this foot guard unit, and this is completely exposing their flank to these German Fusilier. But I am going to turn them to face these Russians. You can see Russia does have 2 skirmish units, 3 line units about. I have more line units, 1 skirmish unit, and my line is better. Most of these are just musketeers, but I do have these foot guards here. Once again, taking the flanking fire though. I've got these guys lining up to shoot at that German Fusilier unit. These are both foot guard units, and if this unit did rout, I could fill that gap. And in a second here, I'm going to go ahead and just charge with one of these units just to stop these guys from firing. so that this unit isn't being hit on the flank. And I've got these units over here too. Here comes Mike's units, so his army's going to back up. Here's one of my foot guard units in square due to a cav charge, and Prussian Fusilier coming up. So at this point, surprisingly, we were really surprised that we actually had armies left after attacking the hill, but at this point, this is what's happening. And that guy switched target. He's going to hit this unit not in square, but those guys are going to go ahead and rout. But at this point, it's pretty much just a shootout along here. And Mike's cavalry had come back from routing and killed a few more of those guys. And once again here, Russia does have the better position, but I've got the better troops again. These guys had to square and are still in square due to all of that cavalry. And I'm going to unsquare this unit at least. And looks like they're going to immediately have to go back into square. Yep. Because of all this cavalry still being here. So these guys were messing things up. My foot guards are still in melee up here, but they were effectively stopping these guys from shooting for the most part. And this cavalry is going to start to rout soon. I am lining up this foot guard unit to start firing at it. I'm going to unsquare these guys, and once again we are going to start getting the arc of fire. And I routed this grenadier unit, so this flank can now start wrapping up and wrapping in on these Russians, and that is going to be the end of it. So basically, my only advice for this map is if you're on the downside of the hill over here, if your opponents camp that hill, good luck, and even attacking from way over here would be better than straight on, but definitely try to move up this hillside here, especially if it's a 1v1. You're gonna really need that. And in 2v2s, if you stack up this side, it actually presents an awkward situation for them to defend, because if you're attacking from here, this hill isn't, you know, long and flat like it is here, so it's hard for them to set up a defensive where they have the advantage at all points. The last of these Russian troops are going to rout. See my guys up here, and these are enemy Russian units there. The last life guard and that last cavalry unit. My men are just going to move on, and these units here are going to go ahead and rout here soon. There goes one. These guys should go pretty quickly. And you can see they're starting to drop, being fired on from all directions. And so at this point, you can see this battlefield's pretty much clear. There is a melee fight here. This lifeguard of foot is enemy, and this musketeer unit is Mike's. But I've got two foot guard units in here in this melee, and so this lifeguard of foot can't hold out against two of them, even though Russia does have a slight bonus in melee. So there you can see that fighting. There's their flagman. That's actually Mike's flagman there. And my general, being pretty much the last cavalry unit, is going up this hill because he has 15 men. The enemy general here has 7. So at this point, once again, you get to see why we didn't really enjoy fighting this opponent. The battle is obviously over. I've got a decent part of my army left, actually. There you can see all that. Mike's got a few pretty full units too. I mean, he's got these guys back here and all of that. So we actually survived this attack with quite a few troops. And my opponent is planning on just doing the run to the corner thing. Thankfully, though, after we shouted at him in the chat for this whole way over, he's going to inspire himself and charge in, because I guess at this point he was bored enough too that he didn't really want to deal with that. And so I'm going to inspire my general as well. We're going to charge in, and just through numbers I should win this. There's the enemy general there, and he's going to go ahead and go down immediately. So at that point, this unit's lost its general. It's going to rout. And that's that. That's the end of the battle. So good game to our opponents. It was a fun battle. I don't enjoy attacking up hills like that, but that time it turned out decently. You can see how costly it was for both Mike and I. Here, each of us killed just about 30 more. For me, a slight bit under 30. It's like 20 more for me. Then we lost, Mike killing 11,000. Well, not 11,000, 1,133. I can't read right now. And losing 1,101. I killed 976 and lost 954. So this was a Pyrrhic victory. And that's, you know, just losing pretty much the exact amount as we killed there. You can see our opponents, though, did end up losing more than us and did not kill as much. But that was a very tough battle, and thankfully both of us brought more infantry-based armies. You can see we did have a numbers advantage, both of us deploying bigger armies than Austria, who had the biggest army for our opponents. And had we not done that, probably we would not have won. I don't think either of us brought artillery, so that in fact helped us just with the manpower attacking that hill. You can see my best units there are going to be the foot guards. And that's pretty much that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that battle. If you did enjoy the video, please do me a favor and rate it. Thumbs up or thumbs down. I enjoy honest feedback. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time with more.